Hi, this is Dr. Jones. We're going to talk about the Barnes reports today, and they're actually found in Business Market Research Collection and Business Source Complete. I'm going to show you how to access it in both in this one video here. They don't typically come out being on the front page being seen as Barnes reports, but they're also known as Barnes reports. So don't let it confuse you, and be willing to look at either database. In fact, I would look at both databases because there's some crossover and there's some not. I'm also going to show you about the world industry market research that you can find in these collections here. So let's first go. This is the ATU A to Z library databases that you're familiar with. Let's first go to the Business Market Research Collection. And when you click on that, this is the page that you come up with. And you could start putting stuff in here, but here's what I'm going to suggest to you. That you go to the Publications page first. And there's 114 different publications. And one of those is going to include the Hoover's reports that you see in another video out there. Let me go down. You need to go to the next page. And so here you see there's Hoover's Company Records. You use that for a different assignment, but that's where you're going to find it. This one, we're going to look at the U.S. industry and market reports here for this industry, but the worldwide industry and market reports are also Barnes reports. And so when you're looking at global market information, that's one spot for you to go to. But let's click on U.S. industry and market reports. You go, but that doesn't say Barnes reports. Yeah, that's very, very true. It doesn't say that. So we click on advanced search and notice that it's got the publication ID in there. That's for the U.S. industry and market reports. We are now going to search an NAICS code. You can look up the NAICS code. We're going to go to retail trade, and we're going to go to the pharmacy industry. And so we choose pharmacies and drugstores, 4461110. So kind of put that in the back of your head there. That's what we're going to be doing on this video right here. So 4461110 is our NAICS code, and the U.S. industry and market reports is what we're looking for in the publication. And my goodness, it says you can't find it. You can't find it. Well, obviously it means that there's nothing there. No, you have to be a little more resilient than that. Okay, so they're in here. So the first thing that we would do is put an NAICS code in there and then throw up our hands and go like, Dr. Jones, it doesn't work. Well, yeah, okay, let's try this. So instead, we're going to click on anywhere, and we're going to change this and do pharmacy. Okay, let's try that. So the publication is still the same publication, U.S. Industry and Market Reports. Pharmacy is now in the anywhere, as opposed to I could put it someplace else, but we're going to put it anywhere. And now let's click on it. Ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. And there you go. U.S. Pharmacies and Drugstores Industry and Market Report. And this is the U.S. Industry and Market Report. You go like, wow, why didn't it show up the other way? Well, because sometimes they don't have the cross-reference here for the industry. And this is why it's called a Barnes report, because it's a Barnes reports right there at the top. It is Barnes reports. Okay, so the U.S. Industry and Market Outlook. This is the 2016. You could get to the more recent one, the 2021 right there. And this is it. This is what it looks like. On the front, it's going to look like this, okay? And then you would do just like you've seen in some other videos, you would just download load this one, but that's what it is. It's got all kinds of information in there. Some of it more useful than others. There's lots of numbers in there, folks, okay? There's not a lot of text to this. It's mostly, here's what's going to happen, but I want you to be able to get to this and then be able to make use of it out there. Boom. Here's your text part. Towards the end. Almost 200 pages in. Okay, so here's some definitions of what it is. Here's what blah, 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 all they mean about that industry. And there you are to the end of it. Okay, so as I said, in this one, the reason for pulling this report up is when you want to talk about trends or outlooks. I know I'm moving awful fast in this. It's hard for you to see what's going on. But here's what you're looking at. So total establishment, sales, employment, and trends. So you have a trend so far. Might be hard for you to see this if you're not looking on a computer, but here's what it does. It shows number of establishments, that is the number of places that are pharmacies or drugstores in this industry, what their sales in millions of dollars is, and how many people that they employed. And this is in the US, okay? So if you take a look at that, you can see what's happening. 2021 is obviously a projection out there of what it's going to be, and this is what their projected growth is. So you could talk about, if this was your industry, what the projected growth for the industry was in terms of number of establishments that they were going to have, how many people they were going to employ, and what their projected sales figures were over time. Then you go with employer establishments. That's ones that have employees, and non-employer establishments, that's ones where the owner is the only employee, so they count it as a non-employer establishment. So there's a lot fewer of those, but are a lot of single-person drugstores that there's no employees considered for the drugstore. And you can look at other things in here too. So if you wanted to see in industry ratios how many employees per establishment, okay, so over time, they really have not increased the number of people that they employed over time, but sales per establishment's in there. Sales per employee and sales per establishment are in there, and you could get an idea of the growth or non-growth in your industry based on sales figures and employee payroll, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's what you get to see. You're in the business market research collection, and that is a Barnes report. However, you can also find this same type of report in the Business Source Complete, which is the one that I first referenced in your upload. So let's take a look. In this case, we want to do the same thing. We want to take a look in your publications, and you remember it was the U.S. industry and market report. So we just start off with that one, blah, blah, blah. And what? We don't have that. It doesn't show up. Again, resilience. You've got to be resilient in this. So let's pull this back up and go, okay. How about if we choose by NAICS code first? So remember, it was 446110. Cool. And then we'll click on that. And it's going to be, see 446110. It's going to be, wow, I don't see any Barnes reports there. There's nothing that way, okay? Remember, sometimes you look down here and you find if some of these show up. So if you alphabetize these, you go over here, and I don't see the U.S. pharmacies reports or anything along that line? No, that's true. That is true. You don't see anything here. Doesn't show up. Well, what in the world, Dr. Jones? Well, see, you use this for other things. So you also see your market line SWOT analyses here. Okay, so let's try this. How about if we put that search term in there? Now here's why I put the quotation marks around it, so it will keep this together. If you don't put the quotation marks around it, it's just going to look for the word Barnes or the word reports around there. And click on search there. And boom, there you go. Barnes reports, pharmacy and drugstores industry. Okay. Barnes reports, and notice it's the worldwide one here and it's the United States one here. But they're both Barnes reports. Okay. And so if we wanted to look at this one, this is the US one. Click on your PDF full text, and there you go. There's Barnes report for pharmacies and drugstore industry. And you'll notice that it looks just the same. So you can access these reports through either the Business Source Complete or the Business Market Research Collection, either one. And as always, you would then download and post this up into the upload portal on Blackboard. Take care now.